Okay, we'll start the general meeting. So, as for yesterday, today's the agenda is the same. So we have the remaining nominees, a total of 6 of them, to give us their speech and answer questions from the floor. So some rules to follow. At any point of time, there should only be one person speaking. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand and wait for your turn. When it's your turn to speak, please say your name, clause, and year before you proceed. And every motion in the meeting requires a proposer and a seconder. For example, in the middle of the Q&A, there are no more questions and you would like to close the Q&A, you have to say Yongming IS year 4, propose to close the Q&A, and someone has to say PB IS year 2 seconds. Slight change from yesterday, the questions, right? You can either go to the mic in the center, alright, just queue up and in an orderly fashion, or if the mic is too occupied, we will pass a portable mic around. Yeah. Okay. So the format, today we have a total of 6 nominees remaining. Nominees will be picked randomly. Each nominee will have up to 5 minutes to present. And after the presentation, there will be 5 minutes of Q&A. A maximum of 3 extensions can be granted, and each extension is 5 minutes. These are some key terms or common words used, so you can just glance through. Okay, so now we will do the wheel. Alright, so the names are correct, right? Okay, I hope everything correct. Here we go. Alright, can we invite Joel? Okay.
Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Joel. I'm year 2 business analytics students. So here's some past leadership experiences that I have. So I was in the student council as a general secretary in secondary school. And in Polytechnic, I was the treasurer for my faculty society, which is like computing club. And I was the platoon sergeant in army. And in NUS, I was the vice project director for the freshman social camp, the project director for the orientation day, and also the committee member for BASH. So what inspired me to join the 20th MC? So first, I enjoyed planning for events, and I have a sense of satisfaction and achievement after the whole event has passed. And I would like to give back to what I have gained for the past year, and lastly, to improve my leadership skills. So the position that I will be running will be the Vice President for Student Life. That's all.
Okay, so the floor is open for questions now. Any questions from the floor? Yeah, we need a mic because for the people viewing online. We have another portable mic. Yeah. If you have questions, sorry, just a minute. If you have questions, you can make your way to the mic first, before the question. The person asking a question is done with the question. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Rebecca, IS year 2. I would like to ask you what inspired you to take up this role in particular, and what do you hope to bring to the management committee if you are elected for this position?
Out of all the positions, right, I'm interested in the FOP more. So apart from doing FOP itself, I would like to expose myself more. So Vice President for Student Life is the only position I would say that covers FOP and also allow me to expose to the other stuff, which in this year it will be the student relation. Yeah.
Next question.
Wei Li, year 2, IS year 2, year 3, sorry. So what will you do if you are not able to get your desired position and why?
Okay, like I said, I'm interested in FOP. So if I do not get this position, then if there is people who are able to take up other positions and has the passion for it, then I will resign from the management committee, because I feel that if you do not have the passion, right, then there's no point continuing in what you're doing.
Wei Li, sorry, a follow-up question. So let's say you didn't get your VP student life, and since from what I heard that you have said you love FOP so much, so would you try for the director for FOP?
I mean, I will, but since Vanessa is running, so of course I will not fight with her lah. Yeah.
From year 3 IS. So since you focus so much on FOP, so do you have any plans for student relations at this point of time?
Okay, so as for what I understand, right, student relation is not very well known to the students. So meaning to say, students do not realize the existence of student relation cell. So the main purpose, right, will be to increase the awareness among the students, to let them know that student relation cells actually exist, so that they will know the appropriate channels to go through if they have any feedbacks or whatever. Yeah.
We have about 1 minute left. Any more questions?
Yes. Dinesh here for CS. Okay, so this is the same question I asked all the VP nominees. You are leading leaders. What is your conflict management style? Sorry, what is your leadership style? Because you can't be micromanaging them, right? So how far are you going to? How deeply are you going to manage?
Sorry, your last part?
Basically, yeah, just what is your leadership style, considering that you are leading leaders?
Okay, basically, I'm a democratic person, so I will ask for opinions. So I believe that asking everyone's opinion in my team, I will be able to get better ideas, because everyone comes from different perspective and point of view. So we will be able to generate more ideas from them, and I believe that everyone should have a say in what they feel. So yeah, I will ask for everyone's opinion.
Okay, the time is up. Anyone want to propose to extend? Come on, no need. Extend on it.
Zika year 4 propose to extend.
I repeat, no need. Okay, any second?
Dinesh here for CS second.
Okay. How many minutes? Alright, any new questions?
Rebecca, IS year 2, do you have any new initiatives in mind with regard to both of the cell that you are managing? Anything different?
Okay, so for the FOP, right, the new initiative which was mentioned yesterday was to bring flag under the community service cell. So that will be one of the new initiatives that FOP will be might be going through. And also we will also look at how we can take in more freshmen for the FOP, because due to the increased intake in the freshmen. So the purpose of the FOP is to let as many freshmen as possible to get exposed to the activities and the camps and all the stuff. So we will try to look at ways and in how we can accommodate as many freshmen as possible. And as for the student relation, like what I said just now, the main thing will be to increase the awareness among the students. So like what Amanda mentioned yesterday, she has wonderful plans for the student relations. So as in I will work with her closely, and we will see how we can increase the awareness among the students. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So same question as I asked yesterday lah. How do you think flag has as part of the FOP committee previously? How do you think flag has benefited from being under FOP, and how would flag potentially benefit from being under community service?
Okay, so for flag, right? If flag were to be under FOP, we might not be able to manage it as well as so well compared to the community service, because there might be too many staff for FOP, and we might neglect flag. So and also flag being under community service, right? If it's a whole year thing, they might be able to attract the seniors as well, because from what I've noticed, right, the flag we usually target on freshmen more. So like during the camps and stuff, we will get the freshmen to participate in flag, but not so much so for the seniors.
What are some potential pitfalls from not being under FOP?
Okay, so if it's not under FOP, right, then we will have to better integrate them into the FOP team, because flag is still together with RAG. So if flag is to be under community service, right, it will be our part to bring them into the FOP team as well, so that we will be able to work together closely. Yeah.
We still have time. Any other questions? There are no questions. Can someone propose to close the Q&A? Any objections? Okay, so now the Q&A has ended. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone would require a toilet break? Okay. Okay, now we will pick the next speaker or nominee. Can we invite him to the stage? Okay, maybe you can start. Wait, let me do this. Okay, you can start when you're ready.
Yes, okay. Okay, good evening everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming down today to listen to my speech. Okay, so my name is Kian Wee, and today I'll be presenting myself as a nominee for the 20th MC. First, I'll talk a bit about myself. So, I'm in year 2 IS currently, and I'm currently in the 19th MC as the Deputy Director of Publicity. My past experience, I've been Events and Publicity Manager in the Nyan Photography Club in Poly, and last but not least, I was at OGL for Orientation Day. So these are just some general info about myself, and now I'll go into detail about what I've done in the past year. And so for my experience in publicity in the 19th MC, I've been through the planning of various things, like for example, photography and videography workshops with my director, Rebecca. And through the planning process, I've learned that workshops are very beneficial to our members, and I feel that this is a good initiative that we started this year. And I would like the future Director of Publicity to continue this, as I feel that through these workshops we've really inspired people, like for example, some people who may not have any photography experience before, who came to these workshops, actually do continue to pursue photography as a passion. And I know of a few of them who actually contributed to FOP in terms of covering the camps after going through the workshop. So it's really a heartwarming thing to know that there are people who realize something new that they're interested in, and it's about investing in people as well. And I believe this is a good initiative to continue. And I've also contributed in terms of photography and videography coverage of school events. And in the past year, some of the events I've covered include, like on the top left is the sports camp, the bottom left is the computing information day. In the middle is IFG photo shoot together with the sports director Daryl, and last but not least, the Bash pageant photo shoots. Yeah. So some of you may wonder after seeing all this, what is the role that I'm interested in. So I'm interested in running for the role of Vice President for External Relations, and for this role I've set myself some objectives. So the two key objectives in terms of the MC itself is, the first is to connect with the CAA and SES. So some of you may wonder what CAA and SES are. So the CAA is the Computing Alumni Association. So they comprise of the alumni that have graduated from SOC, as well as SES. SES is the largest Infocom body in Singapore and comprises of Infocom professionals and industry partners, to name a few. And my second main objective is to explore something new, which is to establish connections with other faculty clubs. As I feel that there is not much being explored in this area, and I feel that there might be a potential to collaborate on new kinds of projects which have not been thought of before. And last but not least, a personal objective is that I feel a strong desire to learn and grow. So I feel that coming to university is not just about academics as well. It should also be about getting to know myself and knowing my any limitations that I have, or any beliefs that I might have, but I can actually explore and probably push myself to beyond what I think I'm capable of now. Then for my style, I would prefer to be on the ground with my director. So the marketing and publicity cells will be under my wing. And I believe in working together with both directors to achieve things together. In terms of marketing, I would want to be there when they are planning events, and also liaising with sponsors, and to build more connections with more sponsors as well. And in terms of publicity, I would offer my experience that I've gained throughout this year in the ITMC, and also experience in terms of planning the workshops, photography workshops, and procurement of equipment. And last but not least, to continue to help in school events. Yeah. And thank you.
Okay, any questions on the floor?
Okay, test. Okay, hi. Zika here for InfoSec. So, in your speech, you mentioned that one of the things that was lacking in the previous MC was connections with other faculties. So, in your opinion, why is this so, and what can you do to change it?
I think from what I know, that this area isn't really explored. The reasons I think this happens may be that the other clubs are also focused on external relationships in terms of getting to know their sponsors and getting more sponsorships. So to them, that might be the more important thing to focus on, because they need they prefer more sponsorships for camps and for events like welfare pack, etc. So I think they focus a lot on the external part in terms of working with sponsors, but not really about in NUS itself and working with other clubs to explore projects that may not have been thought of before.
Next question. Any other questions?
When you mean year 3 BA, I give you a point of information first. Interaction with other clubs mainly does not fall under BPO because the president is in the CQ. CQ means the team president together with the NUSU 7 compos. So interaction between clubs are usually restricted to that because you don't really have any experience, opportunities, I would say, to interact with other clubs excos. But since you already said that you want to interact with them more, maybe you can share more about how you want to do it. Because you don't ask what you're going to do, but how you're going to achieve it.
In terms of concrete plans, at the moment, still in the process of exploring options, but how I'm going to do that will be through first establishing direct connections. Like once after the new management committees are elected, I would try to establish connections with the various other clubs, faculty clubs, and from there can have meetings, face-to-face meetings, as well as some discussion sessions where we can explore on such possibilities together, yeah, and to gather the ideas from more people.
Dinesh here for CS. So you were the Deputy Director of Publicity for the 19 MC. So what have you learned over your term in MC?
Over my term in MC as the Deputy Director of Publicity, I've learned many things, as some I mentioned previously are the conducting of the photography and videography workshops, which I believe were very beneficial to our members, followed by the procurement of equipment such as new cameras, tripods, and etc. So these, I feel, helped to provide more equipment for more members to be able to try out the skills that they've learned in the workshops, and as well as through the various publicity channels that we have continued, like for example Facebook, Instagram, email blast, etc. And I've learned that from the current channels that we have, we are already reaching out to a lot of people, which is good, and I believe there are still it is a good thing to continue, and there are still ways which may be explored. So, for example, during FOP itself, this date itself, 14 August, is specifically the date when the bash pageant photos were posted. So, from the photos themselves, it has contributed, for the post-engagement aspect, it has contributed 51,933 post-engagements alone just on that day. And you can see that the whole month itself is only about 170,000. So, and then the reach itself is 355 organic reach on that day alone, and as compared to the whole period, which has 49,000 only. So from this, I can gather that first, the quality of the posts are very important, and it reaches out the large audience. And even though we have not explored an option of having paid posts yet, the organic reach is already very good. from what we have. So this is one thing that I feel can be explored as well in the future. Thank you.
The time has run out, so can someone propose to extend? Okay, next question please.
Rebecca, IS Year 2. Okay, I want to ask you what are your plans for the respective cells under you if you were to be elected as the VP External Relations, especially in the area of marketing, since you have had experience in publicity. So maybe I would like to know more about your plans for marketing.
Okay, thank you for your question. So, for marketing itself, I believe that in the past year, marketing has still done quite well in the sense that in terms of the amount of sponsorships that we could get, which is still a good number, I feel, and that for the welfare pack itself, it was still relatively good. So from here on, I feel that marketing can still continue what they are doing, to whether to reach out to even more sponsors or to market different kinds of merchandise, because I spoke with the director of marketing, Minty, and I found out that merchandise actually plays a huge role in terms of the amount of revenue that marketing generates. So from this, I gathered that exploring more merchandise can be a good way. So for example, like there are many people who are still interested in getting competing shirts, and as well as a new idea being floated around is the socket plushie. So with merchandising and sponsorships being the two key aspects of marketing, I feel that the new director can continue building on what was achieved this year and bring marketing to greater heights.
Here we still have time. Okay, maybe Joel can go first. Joel can go first.
Joel, Year 2 CS. So I want to ask, what are some of your strengths and weaknesses, and how do you intend to overcome your weaknesses?
Okay, thank you for your question. I believe my strengths are mostly in terms of technical skills, as through what I've contributed to publicity in the previous year. And in terms of weaknesses, I believe that my soft skills may not be as solid as my technical skills. Like for example, in terms of building new connections with more people and networking, as I believe that in this past year I've not really explored a lot. Although from what I've experienced, I've learned that I've learned some skills in networking, through networking with the members of my publicity cell itself, and I believe that it is a good time to continue building on what I currently have and to improve myself in the process.
Genevieve, Year 2. I saw that you wanted to. So what do you hope to achieve from connecting with CAA?
Okay, thank you for your question. So, I believe that, okay, since the CAA is comprised of the alumni, which includes whether the graduates who have already graduated a few years back or graduates who have recently graduated, I believe they all have different kinds of experience they can share with current students, be it for those who are already working in the industry. I believe their work experience and how they got to their current positions are very invaluable and useful and can be shared with our current students to give them an idea of what they might want to be in future, especially for roles which they might be interested in. And for those who have recently graduated, I believe that they can also contribute back in terms of maybe offering the seniors, especially the year 3s and 4s, of modules that they have taken during their senior years, as they are still quite relevant, and offer such advice to the seniors.
Hang on, there's a question on mine. So, in Wei Li, CS year 3, what makes you think that the other faculties will be willing to work with you? There are faculties such as BIS which are self-sufficient. So what kind of reasons will you give them to work with you?
Thank you for the question. So, in terms of exploring such relationships with other faculties, at the moment, my stance is that it is an more of an explorational kind of thing. So, I'll just should I be elected, I'll just reach out to the other faculties, and for those that may be interested in exploring cross-faculty collaborations, then from there, I can build on that and form connections and hope that we can come up with something new that has never been done before, or maybe improve the lives of the current students in certain ways which may not have not been explored. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, before we have another question, the time is out, so can someone propose to extend? Okay, just take note, this is the third, this is the second extension, so this is the third. Okay. Ben?
Benjamin, year 3 BA. So with relation to the question that Janet asked, so the plan that you suggest is actually kind of like a networking session, which is really being done by the current AR cell. So since it's part of the agenda to maintain connection with CAA and SCS, can you elaborate more on what will you do in addition to what the current AR cell will do, and these two projects that will be still carried on by other cells?
Thank you for your question. So, on one hand, the current projects I feel that the current projects are very good ways to reach out to the alumni. So the continuation is a good way to maintain what we have currently and what we have achieved currently. In terms of future possibilities, think for myself, as currently I've not really explored and formed connections with CA yet, so I may not be able to advise so much on what could best be done to and what new ideas can benefit the students. So I believe that should I be elected, I will first make sure that I form good working relationship with the CA and the alumni first, and then from there understand their from their point of view, and then we can explore potential new initiatives from there on. Yeah. Thank you.
During year 3 CS, so having been Deputy Director of Publicity and also a member of the External Relations Wing, what are some improvements that you think can be made for both publicity and marketing?
Okay, thank you for the question. So, in terms of publicity this year, specifically during the FOP period itself, I feel that as we did the centralized system this year, centralized publicity, which is to have our own team of publicity members, and then working together with FOP, I feel that it did not seem as close as the previous year, which is to have specific publicity teams for the various camps, be it FSC or FOW. So, from what I analyze and gather, I believe that moving forward there can be a hybrid system in some sense, instead of just having clearly a centralized or decentralized system. So what do I mean by a hybrid system? So for example, we can have dedicated teams for both FSC and FAO publicity themselves, and also have our own so-called FOP publicity team, but in a more advisory role, I would say, as they can provide especially those who have already went through FOP this year, and as I believe that they can provide valuable advice in terms of the experience they went through, whether anything can be done better, and the things that were done well. So for example, like this year, I feel that the filming of the storyline videos are well done, in the sense that we finished filming proper, as well as the reshoots for both camps in 5 working days. So I believe that is a good thing to continue, and those that were involved in filming this year can provide advice on how we did it and how it can be continued. And they themselves can be involved in the respective publicity teams of the camps themselves. So I believe that they will also be able to forge stronger bonds with the respective camp committees, other than they are just doing their role as be it photographers or storyline writers. Yeah. And in terms of marketing, I believe that the current situation may be that the workload is not distributed in the best possible way to maximize the efficiency of marketing. So now, most of the workload is probably focused on director itself. So it's just that there is not a very efficient balance, and I feel that through the coming subcommittee recruitment, I believe that by reaching out to those who are interested in helping out with marketing, and in conjunction with the future deputies which the marketing director may choose to co-op and work with. I believe that a better distribution of work can help make marketing be more efficient and achieve greater heights. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, the time has run out, but basically would like to provide a point of information. So, okay, cross-faculty collaboration has been done before between SOC and SDE, so School of Design and Environment. For exam pack 1 and 2, that is Sem 1 and Sem 2. However, the CAMS collaboration wasn't managed to be carried out due to the different committees involved. Alright, was that clear? Okay. So yeah, that's just what she wants to carry out. She wants to inform everyone here. Okay.
Thank you.
Before that, I need an extension. Anyone like to propose an extension? Okay, so this is the last extension. So please choose your question wisely. Okay, now you may ask the question.
Yes. I would like to ask that because now right the ARSL has been dissolved, right? So as you know the Grand Night is being taken over by welfare themselves. So if by the time they manage to organize the Grand Night, right, it will be the last event that they organize. And we all know welfare cell got a lot of events to organize. So what if when reach at that time, right, and they are too shared and whatever reasons are, so they decided not to organize Grand Night. So what happened? What happened to the Grand
Night? Okay. Thank you for the question. So since now Grand Night has been reorganized under welfare cell, so it might be quite a bit of additional workload to them. And the way I see to minimize any potential impact on whether the conduct of the welfare events or the Grand Night itself is to really start the planning very early. That's one. And because as Grand Night requires quite a lot of planning, as I've seen in past year as well, and it will be good to also start the recruitment early for any members who may be interested in contributing by helping to plan the Grand Night. As I feel it's a good thing to continue, as it is after all a milestone for every one of us as we eventually graduate after our time in SOC. And by continuing this event, I feel that you have a sense of belonging to the school itself, as every year you plan for your seniors, then when you see your seniors graduate happily, having spent a good night at the Grand Night, and when it's your turn, you will get to enjoy that as well. So I feel that as long as we keep the good spirit going and have and start our planning early, you would be able to minimize the impact on any the event or the cell. Yeah. Okay.
Zikai for InfoSec. Yeah, so this is a long question, so you have to take a deep breath first. Okay, ready? Okay, so it comes in multiple parts. So the first part is, do you foresee that the alumni is able to contribute to a lot of areas in NC that may not be solely external relations linked? So maybe like student life or like student development or whatever they are. Alumni is able to play an important contribution as well. Yes, no? Yes.
Oh.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
yay!
Yes,
okay, so now that you agree, right, how do you think that the entire P cell can work together to form this relationship with the alumni? Because I don't think, since you say yes, right, I don't think it's a solely external relations wing kind of role.
right? Do you agree? Yes.
Yes.
So now that it's not a solely external relations being kind of role, how do you foresee that the entire P cell can work together with the alumni?
Thank you for your question. So, as mentioned, now that the alumni relations cell has been reorganized and merged into the P cell's responsibility, for me, I feel that the role of VP External will be to take the lead in establishing the first point of contact first with the alumni, and then from there on, when I start to have more meetings with the alumni and understand what they may be able to contribute in and what they're looking for, then from there I can bring in the rest of the P cell in terms of the various areas that they may be able to help to plan and coordinate, and then trickle down to their respective cells. So for example, if some alumni may want to contribute in terms of academic advice, then from the point of contact, which is VP External, I can pass along the details and any contact details or plans to, for example, to the CAT cell, and then to their respective VPs, and other cells may include like marketing themselves. If any alumni would like to work together with the computing club to maybe come up with some events which they may be interested in sponsoring, and also in terms of the publicity cell itself as well, as they can also we can also come together and explore some plans of maybe collaborating in terms of publicity for the alumni themselves and what they may be doing. And through all these different aspects, I believe that the whole PCL and actually the whole MC as a whole can play their respective roles in directly or indirectly connecting with the alumni as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, time is up. So that's the last question. So that's all from Kian Wee. Thank you. Anyone like to propose for a toilet break? No? Okay, we'll proceed then. Okay, we have 4 remaining. Let's go. Alright, now let's invite Constance to the stage. Okay, Zong Sien, you can start when you're ready.
Good evening, members of the computing club. I'm Zong Sien, a year 1 student majoring in computer science. Okay, so yeah, I'm here for running for the 20th MC. Okay, so here is some background information about myself. Just to share some of my past leadership information about myself. I was appointed as the Library Council Chairman back in the Victoria School. Also a naval trainer, and I'm a hard worker. Yeah. Okay, so more importantly, why am I running for MCs? Like many of you guys, right? I'm here to get the full uni experience. Okay, during my time in MC, I'm eager to enrich my learning experience and widen my social circle while serving SOC. Okay, always looking for new things to improve on and understanding and resolving them. I would really hope to promote faculty spirit and cohesiveness within our community. Okay. Yeah, that's all. Okay, I chose to be part of SOC. So did you. So I promise to make our time here a memorable one. Thank you.
Okay, floor is open for questions now. Dinesh?
Dinesh, you're for CS. May I know what position you plan to run for, why, and what qualifications you think you may have to run for this position?
Okay, so there are certainly many ways to impact our SOC community, and starting from myself should be one of them. Okay, I've chosen to run MC not for actually a specific role, but as a way to contribute back to SOC. Okay, so this is like a channel for contribution. With that said, I've also considered other roles like Director IT, as well as the chat with the advisors, maybe the sports director as well. Yeah, preferably a Director IT, but it may sound counterintuitive as my IT background is not very strong and there's still a lot of room for improvement. Thank you.
Dinesh, your boss, yes. So I start with a point of information. Should you run for IT cell, you will need some background to jump in because you need to immediately take over quite a lot of stuff and be able to lead a team to achieve what you need to do. So if you are not elected as IT director, do you have other plans?
Yes.
You mentioned
sports.
Can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Elaborate. Sorry, hang on. I just want to clarify something because it is not right to say that should he be elected, he will immediately take over everything because there will be a transition period and there is a handing over and taking over.
Add on a bit on that.
Hang on, okay, so yeah, just to clarify.
Point of information to Yongming, there will not be sufficient time during a hand takeover to go from no background whatsoever to taking over IT cell.
Yes, I'm not saying that it's like no background or enough background, but I'm just saying that there will be a handing over process. Yeah, I don't want people to misunderstand this. Right. Zong Sien, you can continue.
Yeah, adding on to that, I'm sure that the previous MCs are very caring. That's why you joined the MC committee. I'm sure they'll be more than willing to assist and guide the next batch of MCs.
Next question. Zikai.
Yeah, Zikai here for you. So can you go back to your slide about the why you want to join? Yeah. Okay, so like I would like to know why IT in particular because like almost every role in MC can provide you exposure and experience.
Oh yeah, so
and help you understand resolve. New founder for SOC, I guess.
Okay, this are very general.
It's very general.
Yeah, it's very general. So
can you elaborate more specifically why IT cell in general? Or why you?
No, as I said, I mentioned earlier, there's certainly many ways to impact the SOC community, and not only the role as a DIT, but as well as other roles I can impact. Yeah, similarly. So it's not DIT only. DIT is like one of it. Yeah.
So maybe I'm putting more clearly why IT compared to let's say director of marketing.
Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, so the main reason why I wanted to join IT is I thought that I might gain more experiences and enrich my learning experience while I'm studying here in the university. So at the same time, I can use what I learned and apply it. Yeah, at the same time.
So you're hoping that through taking up the IT position, you're able to gain knowledge which can help be beneficial towards your studies, and also vice versa, because of your studies, you can contribute to yourself better. Yeah, correct?
You can put it that way, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you.
We have 30 seconds, so one quick question if there is. Desmond?
Desmond, you have to...
Hang on, wait for the mic.
Desmond, year 2 BA. So, I want to ask, why do you decide to run for a position in MC instead of being a subcommittee, since you can also give back to SOC industry?
Yeah, definitely I can impact the community as a subcommittee as well. But I feel that taking on the role in the MC can provide me more opportunities, and I can gather more feedback and opinions of the fellow community and serve SOC better.
Okay, so the time is now, so if you would like to ask more questions, can you please propose to extend? Okay, so we have another 9 minutes.
Nathaniel, year 2 CS. Why are you not wearing formal?
Okay, I would like originally I wanted to apologize for not wearing formal wear because I'm currently staying on campus and I didn't have formal wear with me. And this past week we have been busy training for IFG tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully you can come down and support us. Anybody coming down to support us? Yeah.
Okay, next question. The mute button is on.
Hello. Okay. Rebecca, IS year 2. I would like to ask you.
It's okay, take your time.
Dinesh, year 4 CS. So, IT and sports. Have you spoken to anyone currently in either of these two cells? Before deciding to run?
Currently, I have not spoken to any past community members regarding this. But I can ask around with my peers. Yeah.
Rebecca, IS year 2. Can you clarify? Since you say you're staying on campus, right? Can you clarify your commitment level and what are the stuff that you are involved in so far? Yeah, so we can gauge how committed you are if you were to be elected into the MC.
Okay, so I get this question a lot. Even during my time during the chat with the advisors, they ask the same thing. Like, currently I'm staying in Temasek Hall. Okay, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. If you think about it, I live so close to SOC, so I can stay overnight and help out anything with the SOC. At the same time, with that said, I'm staying in SOC for 4 years of my time. Temasek Hall, I'm only staying for 1 year. Oh, sorry. It's too short for me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, also I'm staying in Temasek Hall for probably 1 year only. So after that, I don't have to put much commitment to it. Yeah, so my time will be more focused on SOC rather than Temasek Hall.
Mindy?
Mindy, year 2 IS. I thought I passed you Jiayi's contact. So I just wanted to know how you ask her more about the role.
Originally, I received a contact quite late. As I mentioned just now, we were busy training for IFG for tomorrow's match. Yeah, so we trained until quite late, and I feel that it's quite unprofessional if I disturb her Yeah. Like on such a short notice as well. So I would like to probably get to know about it later. I mean, as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay, hi Zong Sien. So you mentioned that you're only staying in Temasek Hall for 1 year, right? But you're going to be SOC for 4 years. So given your commitments and things like that, do you think it's suitable for you to join at this point in time, or would you rather join next year? Yeah. Or now that let's say you get into MC this year, do you plan to continue to contribute to this MC for the next few years as well? Yeah.
Okay. As all things in uni, it's all voluntary based. You can go for lectures, you can go for tutorials, you cannot go for exams if you don't wish to. Staying at hall is also a choice, and committing to the activities in hall to gain hall points to stay for the next year is also a choice. And my choice is to contribute to SOC.
Joel, year 2 CS. So just now, Rebecca asked about your commitment level, but you didn't really answer it directly. Say, for example, how many CCAs you are going to join in Temasek Hall, or what other outside commitments you have. So, could you clarify on this and say how much effort or time are you willing to give to the MC and SOC?
I asking like you want to quantify my commitment level, like 100% or like out of 10, the kind, or
just a rough gauge in quantifiable terms.
Okay, so currently I play tennis for SOC also, so tomorrow you all come down and support me. I also playing for Temasek Hall. Yeah, that's the reason why I got into Temasek Hall. So I have to play for them, so that's the only commitment that I'm tied to currently. Yeah. So I don't have to join any other CCAs to continue staying for this year and Sem 2. Yeah. Outside commitments, I study Korean. Yeah. So that's the thing I need to go at Kemangan every Monday. Yeah.
Okay, so the time has run out. Anyone would like to propose for extension? Okay, we have another round of 5 minutes. Just think that this is the third extension, no, the second extension. So this is the third round of Q&A. Yeah. Tinesh? The mute button? Press on it. Press it. The light box is always
Dinesh, your boss, yes. What's your plan B if you're not elected into the MC?
Why do you sound so negative? Okay, but yeah, okay, of course I would hope that I get elected into the MC and decide on my role as soon as possible, and as well learning from Jia Yi, the previous DIT, or maybe other position, and get to know more about it. Yeah.
But if not, do you still intend to contribute? Like, do you intend to join IDCL if you are not elected as director? Would you join the?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely join the subcommittees, like Joel mentioned. What? I can't remember. Someone mentioned that if I can. Why not? I join the subcommittee and not the MC. Does that answer your question?
Maybe.
Maybe yes, please, yes. So you didn't say that you specifically only want to join IT and sports, right? So assuming that all the other candidates did get the roles that they want to get, so and you didn't manage to get IT, so meaning there will be only marketing and publicity left, will you be willing to take up these positions?
I'm definitely willing to learn and to contribute. Publicity actually sounds interesting.
Okay, David, go ahead.
Then I'm curious to know what is your motivation to give back to the NC?
Okay, I'm sure if you maybe some of you have heard talks before. Motivation comes in different forms. There's the external motivation and the internal motivation. External one comes from like monetary, or maybe you feel good from positive affirmation from other people. But for mine, I believe the motivation comes from within. So I genuinely want to contribute. There's no reason why, I genuinely want to contribute. Yeah. Hope that answers the question.
Is it like a sense of personal achievement, or because you see what the seniors have done, so you want to give back, or you just want to do good for positive karma or something?
Yeah, let's say there's the negative, the external and the internal. The karma one is probably classified as the external one because you don't want to go to hell if you're Christian. I mean, there's no hell in Christian, right? I mean Buddhism. Yeah, something like that. So sorry, I forgot the question. Can you say the question again?
Your motivation.
Oh, okay, yeah, my motivation to join. Okay, definitely. I went for both of the camps. FSC and FOW. I also went for the bash. Yeah. I felt that the seniors actually put in really a lot of effort in planning. So I'd like to thank them. Good job.
Any questions?
Hi, Zong Sien. Year 4, year 4. Okay, yeah, hi. So am I right in assuming that IT director will be your first choice or first consideration of the role that you need to run? I mean, I get the sensing that you're okay with a lot of roles, but if you had a choice, you would choose IT director, is that correct?
If I had a choice, yes,
Yeah,
I would choose that.
So now that you say yes, can you tell me what is your understanding of the roles and responsibilities of IT director?
I spoke to one of the seniors after talking to the advisors.
I'm not Jiang.
I will work on this.
Okay, so now that you spoke to one of the seniors, so what's your understanding?
He said mainly the role of the legal part of the IT is to handle the websites. Yeah. And then there's the other side, which I do not wish to talk about. Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's all.
Joel, year 2 CS. So, from what I asked and your reply, I assume you didn't really find out a lot about the various roles that you are interested in. So, my question is, what if upon finding out what the role comprises, you realize that you don't have the skills or expertise required to carry out? So, why I ask that is because, from what I know, the IT director that you're currently interested in actually might require quite a little bit of hard coding. And as a freshie without much coding experience, how do you think you can overcome this, or what are you going to do? Yeah.
Okay, so firstly, as I mentioned also, I believe the seniors are very caring and they will guide us, definitely. Of course, there may be times where they go on overseas, maybe exchange programs, and they do not have time to guide us. During that time, I'll proactively self-learn, be it online, be it asking my peers, to better my understanding regarding any technical skills that are required. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be DIT like I mentioned. The motivation to contribute is from within, yeah.
Okay, unfortunately the time has run out. Anyone want to propose an extension?
Dinesh, your boss here propose extension.
Anything? Okay, so just take note, this is the last extension. Alright, please choose your questions wisely. Alright,
Dinesh, your boss, yes. Okay, so just now my question was on the more negative side. So let me go the other direction. Suppose you are elected as IT director. So I understand you don't have much background or anything, but surely you came in here because you wanted to make some difference. So do you have any grand plans or any plans in general? What do you want to see IT cell become or be in relation to the MC?
Okay, I thought about this before, like what changes I want to make in the IT field. Okay, so as a prospective student, when I researched about like the courses in NUS, I found it quite difficult to find information that are useful, or it was quite cluttered. Okay, so maybe we can have a more organized way of presenting information. Maybe, I don't know, like a smart board or something, where you can ask questions regarding like different the course requirements, or what's the difference between like CS and between IS. When I first came out, I was like, isn't CS and IS the same thing? Yeah. And then from a totally like no clue, a person with no clue, they might think computer science is a science. It's not computing and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, something like that lah. I hope that answers the question.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Got another one over there.
Okay, hi Zong Sien. So my question is, what do you think is your biggest challenge and how do you plan to overcome?
Thank you for your question. I strongly believe that with a positive attitude, I can overcome anything. So with that said, with my limited knowledge in IT, I believe that is the biggest hurdle if I wish to be appointed as the director of IT.
Hi Rebecca, it's your tutor. I would like to hear more about, maybe you can mention some of your strengths. Yeah, other than your positive attitude, okay? Yeah.
And hardworking as well, hardworking, don't forget about that.
Yeah, then maybe you name a few more strengths.
Oh, sure.
Weaknesses, potentially, yeah. Other than lack of experience.
Some other strengths include, I think, responsibility as well. What comes along is prioritization. So I believe that once I set my mind on something, I would definitely work towards it and give my 100%. Like how I selected to contribute to SOC. And I'll, yeah, give 100%. Weaknesses. Give me a moment. Okay, so for my weaknesses, I feel that I have a tendency to overcommit to something, and I might lose sight of my other other components, other stuff around me. So I hope that through this opportunity, I'll get to learn how to manage everything as a whole, more holistically, rather than just like, if I say I want to focus on SOC, I give 100%. I focus on SOC, I still have to balance with my studies, balance with my family, and balance with my friends.
Okay, unfortunately the time has run out, and this is the last Q&A, so thank you, Zong Sien.
Thank you.
Okay, so, yeah. Yes, Jen. Okay, 5 minutes enough? Okay, I'll give you all 7 minutes, okay, so 2, 1, 3, 0. Okay, please settle down. We will resume soon. They say it's very big, the pie chart very big. Okay, we will resume now. So let's see who is next. Alright, can we invite Yiyuan on stage?
Oh my god, this is too tall.
Okay, you can start with the mouse is there.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay, this is not a very big group of people. Okay, so I'm Yiyuan. As you can see from the slides, I bet you guys saw me during camps, if you all attended. If you think my name is not easy to pronounce, you can actually call me Cindy. Okay, so I'm technically a year 2 CS student. So yeah, just something about me. That's my full name, and the spelling is so weird. It's because I'm from Taiwan. I'll briefly explain my experiences. So first one would be the FSC program head. I am grateful to be in this group of people. They actually taught me a lot of things throughout the whole FSC camp. Yeah. And not only that, I was as a FAO GL as well. With the group of people, I actually worked in FSC in the same house. Yeah. And I was the orientation day station master, and I'm sorry that I don't have the picture of it because I was freaking shagged. I didn't take a photo. Yes, as you can see, I am very involved in FOP for this year technically. And I was also the assistant FOP publicity head because I was under publicity cell, and because of my position in FSC, so my director, Rebecca, actually asked me to be the assistant head to help out the whole publicity procedure for everything. And yeah, and this is like the logo I did Photoshop on last, so just to show you. Yeah. And the last one is I'm actually also in the marketing cell. And I actually helped out to find sponsors for the camps as well. So I am in currently 3 subcommittees, mainly FOP, publicity, and marketing. Yeah. So that's roughly about me of my experience in my whole first year. So now I'm talking about why I'm going to run for the MC, for the 19th MC. So firstly, it's my experience of first year. I really enjoy my experience because of the people I work with and basically the things we work together on. So maybe like FOP, I didn't expect to make so many friends. And for publicity, I didn't expect to learn how camera works and everything and design. While marketing is my first experience to learn how to find sponsorships and how to liaise between external partners. So it was a very interesting year and a very fulfilling year. So that's one reason that I am running for MC, because I want to continue what I'm doing for now and actually take up a more crucial role to help the freshman who is going to join the subcommittees as well. And the second reason is my friends, because a lot of them are actually running for this year's management committee. So I want to work with them, and I think that's the only chance for this year. Yeah. And oh, sorry. How do I go back? And lastly is to raise awareness. I actually spoke to some of the seniors in my course, like in my modules, with my modules groupmates, and they actually didn't know that there are elections happening currently. They didn't know today and yesterday was the campaigning speech, and next week is the voting. And I thought they are year 1, but end up they're year 3. So it's quite sad to hear about that lah. So that's one thing I want to make a difference, is that I really want to raise the awareness of to make people know what Computing Club does and what kind of events we are planning to benefit the student body. Instead of they end up don't know what's happening and thinking that the only thing we do is welfare packs. Yeah, okay. So the goals is, firstly, I want to bond the SOC family more, because personally I feel a sense of belonging towards SOC, and I didn't really feel that that sense of feeling in the past 7 years in Singapore. So it's a very grateful experience, definitely. And I want to involve more people into not only to plan the events but to participate as well. At least they show up at events, means they show support to SOC and show support to Computing Club. And lastly, I want to motivate more people to join. So not only plan, manage, or even run the events will be very good. And I'm not only targeting the freshmen but also the seniors as well. Yeah, so that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, so any questions on the floor? Okay, now we'll do it a bit differently. So there will be 2 mics trying to float around the SR1. If you were to ask a question, raise your hand, and the mic will be passed to you with the help of everyone.
Wei Li 3IS. So from what I know, you didn't really. Okay, you're running for the FOP director role, right? From what I know lah. So you didn't really appear or engage in the RAC this year. So I would like to know, since that's the case, are you confident of leading FOP, since you don't have a wide spectrum of experience of the whole FOP events? Yeah.
Okay. Wait, how's question was I didn't. Okay. One reason that I don't really involve in RAC is because I have commitments which is for FSC, and they actually have a lot of stay overnights in school to practice and stuff. So that's one thing. And second thing is, personally, I didn't like my first RAC experience in RAC was makeup for the dancers, and I felt like it's really shared for me. And for this year, since I joined IFAO and FSC, to me, I think there's a lot. Yeah, and definitely I know that's one of the weaknesses I'm having now lah. So I will look into it and actually talk to more people who are really involved in RAC for the past 2 years. No, for the past years, not maybe past 2 years. Yeah. So to follow up, and definitely I will look into it, the problems and what should be solved, and I will definitely participate in it for this year if I get elected as FOP director.
Hi, Zikayo for InfoSec. Yeah, this question you might need to think for a while.
Okay.
Okay, so the question I have for you is, you're aware that this role is a contested role, right? Yeah, so what do you think are some of the aspects where your competitor is better than you?
Okay, for that question, actually it's very obvious. Vanessa is running for FOP director, and she was the FAO PD for this year, while I didn't pick up a leadership role in the camps or FOP projects, and yeah, in that sense. So what I'll be lacking is the experience communicating with OSA and everything, and I do recognize that, but I personally feel that that can be there's definitely a possibility for me to learn from the seniors. There are definitely a lot of seniors that I can learn from and ask for questions and everything. So that is something I can make up for it. And I don't think people should shoot me down because I don't have such experience. Yeah.
Anyone else has any questions before Zhi Kai has a second question? Wei Li? Okay, Zhi Kai.
Okay, so to follow up, so in what aspects do you think you are better than your competitor?
Personally, I feel that I was in 3 cells, and all cells are related to FOP in terms of the projects I worked on. So in that sense, I will definitely have a greater, I will know a greater picture compared to Vanessa. That's how I felt. Yeah. So I will know how different cells work together to achieve the FOP projects together and make sure it's a success. Instead of just knowing how to plan and run the camps and how different projects work, I also know the external stuff as well. So that's one advantage I feel that I have.
Well, HEIS, so how big do you think REC is as a project as compared to the other FOP projects?
First thing, I feel it has an equal weightage with FSC and FAO because it actually helps out with the follow-up of freshmen, because a lot of freshmen, they might end up not being bonded after the camps, but REC is a great opportunity to actually bond them together with the seniors as well, because floaters and dancers, usually they are seniors who will guide the freshmen lah. So that's a very big portion of what FOP is doing to integrate the whole freshman into SOC. So definitely the weightage is very high, and plus the commitment and the time taken into it. Since it's a very long term project, throughout the whole summer. Yeah, the practice put in and everything. Definitely it has this, I can say, equal weightage towards the camp lah. So the camp is to bring the freshmen into SOC, to let them know people and everything, while REC is a follow-up that actually enhance the bonds. Yeah, that's what I feel. Thank you.
Okay, time has run out, unfortunately, so can someone propose the extent? Okay, so we can have the next question. Hang on, Rebecca.
So I have been asked to ask you this question. So since you are running for contested position, can you share your other plans if you didn't get the position you want? So what are others within your consideration?
FOP director is my first choice because I know it more than other cells, and I have a passion in it because it's really fun to bring freshmen into SOC and really plan events for them. But in case I really didn't get the position I get, I'm fine with publicity. Yeah, since I was under the cell as well, and I have a passion in design too. And either role actually served the student body as well. That's how I felt. Yeah. So publicity will be one of the choices. Marketing will be possible also. Yeah. Technically, I'm more confident in the roles that I actually joined in my first year. But I don't mind those roles that I didn't explore last time because I'm okay with learning. Just these 3 roles are the current roles I'm looking into.
David?
Yes. So for FOP, right, there are a lot of projects. There will be 4 or 5 projects, but it's almost impossible to focus on all of them. So what are 2 projects that you would like to focus on more this year and to improve, and how would you improve it?
Can I say FSC and FAO is considered one because they are camps? No, okay. So if I really need to choose 2, I would choose FAO and REC. Yeah. So it's one thing that we experienced this year is that it is a very large intake whereby we cannot take in everyone for our camp. So we got no choice but to extend and get an OD out. But personally, as an OD station master, I felt that the bonds within the OGs are not tight enough because due to the time limitation lah. So that's one thing we need to look into it for the next year, for next year technically. Yeah. So how we're going to expand and how we're going to make sure all the freshmen are attended and everything. So that's one big thing that I will look into. And the second thing will be rec, because from the problems I heard from the seniors this year, the floaters are really lacking. And the reason, some people say that it's because the seniors at float, they didn't really engage the freshmen. But what I don't think that way. What I think is that the floaters didn't really get recognized in a sense, because dancers are always in front, while people would definitely give credits to the dancers more than floaters. So that is actually one thing that doesn't incentivize the freshmen to join the float. So this is also one big thing that I want to work on if I really get elected for FOP director. Yeah.
So I think just now you mentioned that one of the challenges might be the increased intake in freshmen, right? So can you briefly mention some of the plans that you have so that SOC has enough resources and manpower to cope with the increased intake?
The first thing is, I think publicizing is very important to motivate people to really join, because the first thing we need is manpower, like OGLs, like the planning committee, to really accommodate all the freshmen. So first thing is publicity. So we need to publicize to the seniors and motivate them to join. That's one thing. And the second thing, I spoke to Debbie about it, and she said that one limitation would be the sleeping venues also. Yeah. The sleeping venues, we might not be able to take in so many people, so we need to look into what are the venues they can sleep in, their file. For FSC, it will be like the hostel fees that they're going to pay. So these are the few considerations that I have to take, and yeah. Thank you.
Okay. As the FOP director, do you have any plans to any initiatives you want to do to improve upon, to improve the programs in general? Plans?
Please give me a minute. Okay, so one thing is that for rec wise, I feel that there can be more events. Like this year they did a rec camp, but it wasn't, how do I put it? Okay, maybe I should cut short. Okay, so in general, I feel that the plans I will take is definitely manpower wise. Yeah, it's just for the manpower we take in is very important. So I will actually give my power, not my power, like I will give freedom to the PDs I have to FOC, to all the projects like FSC, FAO, REC, and FLAG. Well, specific plans under each project. Do you want me to mention? Like specifically for every project?
Don't need to be so specific.
Okay. Okay, so I think I'll just talk about generally how I feel about the projects currently lah. So for FLAG, I feel that there should be more backup, yeah, in terms of the planning and everything, because the outreach wasn't large enough. So that's one thing that needs to be worked on. Yeah. So secondly is REC, which I mentioned. The floaters is one of the biggest problems for now lah. Yeah. While FAO and FSC will be the intakes, yeah, the oversized intakes. Then we have to work on it. And how are the camps being planned, especially certain proposal problems that OSA would think of, and we need to accommodate basically. So general, like specific plans, I can't really say it now because I really need to look into it if after I get elected and talk to the people under me and discuss. So I can't really give you a general direction, but technically it will just be roughly what I'm talking about now, like all the improvements I'm trying to make for different projects lah. Yeah.
Okay. Part of that.
Okay, hang on. Because the time is run out. So can someone propose like sentence?
Yes.
Okay, hang
additional question. Okay, if you don't have a specific plan, I just want to know, do you have a vision for FOP? Like, you know, the previous batches of FOP, they have visions like one SOC, for example. So do you have your own vision for FOP?
My vision would just be to bring everyone into this SOC family. And technically it will be quite similar to the past few years where people always say one FOP and everything. But the main mission I'm trying to get here is freshmen don't feel left out. Yeah, because there are definitely cases whereby I see freshmen after camps or after some of the FOP projects, they are not feeling bonded. So I really want to bond them. So if you really want me to use a tagline or something to really say about my vision, I will really use one FOP. There's like, I don't know whether there's another word to really summarize what I want to achieve lah. So that word will be one SOC or one FOP definitely. To really bond them even after the whole FOP projects are done. Yeah. And actually motivate them to join the MC also to actually plan the next event if that's possible lah. Yeah.
Okay, just to add on, the one FOP vision was basically meaning that they try to bond, to make the camps feel very cohesive and synergized. Okay, so I don't know if you know about that. So what do you think about this plan to make all the camps quite synergized and quite linked to each other in a way? You know, like FOW, FSC, REC, like everything quite linked together. What do you think about this?
It's good in the sense that they don't attend a camp and feel as a one-off event. Yeah, so there's a follow-up where continuously to bond them together and meet different people. So each project they are able to meet different people, to know different groups of people and bond with them, which is good. So if you're not having this continuous program during summertime, I think you also don't have any other time in school and during school term to really do this already. So it will be great that one event is able to motivate the people to join the next event and it continues for all 5 projects for currently lah. Yeah, that's how I felt. So it will be good that everyone is joining all the projects together and knowing different groups of people, so they can start their term and feel that they are actually a part of SOC. Yeah, even though the school haven't started. Yeah, so that's how I felt.
Mindy, Year 2 IS. So as a member of both the marketing cell and publicity cell, and you mentioned that you work together with the FOP projects, right? So what are some of the problems that you face as a member of those cells, and what improvements could you possibly integrate with FOP? Like, what improvements can you make while liaising with marketing and publicity?
Okay, so one thing I want to point out is that I feel that the communication within different cells, there are definitely improvements that can be done. So one of the problems I actually met when I was an assistant FOP director, FOP policies head, was that we don't know that much about different things. Like maybe I was in FSC, so regarding publicity with FSC, I am able to liaise with the FSC com and the publicity cell because we are different cells. Well, during FAO, we have to really meet up, and it's a bit difficult sometimes because FAO com, they have their own plans already and they will inform us or something. So there will be this miscom sometimes also. So that's one thing that needs to fix for communication wise. For marketing wise, I feel that I didn't really have an idea of what kind of sponsors I need to get for the camps. Yeah, so that's one thing. And I'm not sure what kind of sponsors will actually benefit camps more, like benefit the FOP in general lah. Yeah, so that's another thing. So merchandise wise, for marketing, we actually plan out a lot of things, and I actually heard that there are some miscom or some okay, not really miscom but debates within how the merchandise being sold with FOP and everything. So that's definitely something we need to work on. So what can be done is that I feel that it's important to actually have a cell, not a cell, but a team under FOP regarding publicity and marketing or something. And they work with the publicity cell and marketing cell, but they fall under FOP. So it's easier for communication, and there's no hierarchy basically, and no barriers for the FOP director to know the whole picture. Yeah.
Benjamin first? Benjamin?
Benjamin year 3. Other than the increase in intake of freshmen, what do you think will be your biggest challenge next year? And how are you going to go about solving it? And the second question is, who as the deputy have you in mind? Do you have in mind?
Okay, the biggest challenge that I feel next year is that how to make sure the freshmen are engaged and they will continue to join the FOP projects after camps. Yeah, that's one thing. So for my year, right, when I was a freshman, I joined FSC and FAO. And technically, for my year for FSC, I felt a sense of belonging, but when I went to FAO, it was a different feeling for me. So I didn't want to continue for REC. Yeah, and even for FLAG, I went out with FSC friends. So that's one thing I would want to fix on. So I don't want people end up like they only mix with one group of people because of FSC and they don't want to mix with FAO or something. They don't stick to a certain people. So that's one challenge that you will need to face because every project they are meeting different people. So how are you going to maintain them, the contact with different people as well? Yeah. So that's one thing I'm thinking of. And I'm sorry, your second question was? Oh, my deputy. Okay, currently I'm not thinking of those who are, because it depends on the director I'm getting. Yeah, so I'm thinking of people, because I have like 3 roles, like FOP, publicity, and marketing. So the work I'm going to do is actually different. So that will depend for my deputy director lah. So if I get publicity, I will actually ask Rebecca, which is the previous director, because first thing I felt that it's important for me to choose someone that I can work well with, that's a good suit with me. Yeah, and that's why. But for FOP wise, I haven't thought of anyone yet, but actually there's someone, but I'm still thinking of it. Someone who actually know the stuff that I don't know. So like REC and FLAG. I want a deputy that actually has a lot of experience in it, so I actually can work with him, and that complements my flaws also lah. Complements my lack of experience in that area.
Okay, Francis?
Francis, year 2 CE. So, yeah, so you're mentioning one just now, right? But then given that the bigger intake this year, it's likely that both camps will be mutually exclusive, FSC and FOW. So how are you going to make it one FOP?
Mutually exclusive, you mean like what I mentioned just now, is it?
Like all those who get the power, right, cannot have gone to FSC. So you the opportunity to like people who have not going to get the camps. REP, that one subject to the choice subject.
Okay, so one thing is, I think publicity wise is important. So for my year as a freshman, I didn't know about the camps, and I signed up real late. Yeah, so I ended up going for, I wanted to go for FAO, but I ended up going for FSC. So I thought it was the same thing. Yeah, that's what happened. So, yeah.
I think what I mean is like, it's mutually exclusive. So it's like, how do you make the 2 groups of freshmen who have not met each other, who have gone for different camps, how do you make them one FOP? Like, how do you like draw the link between the two camps?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Misunderstood the question. Okay, so definitely the people who join FSC will join FAO. That's what I'm observing for right now. So usually freshmen who join FSC actually join FAO. They actually attend both camps. And I feel that this is a very important link between different projects also. Because they are first one being exposed to SOC. So the moment they get into FAO, it's good that they can help us to actually bond those people who never came for FSC. Yeah, so as a FAO OGL, my OG, they have like a few, like 3 or 4 of them who are from FSC. So what I ask them, not really ask them, but what I did with them was to really try to like step out of your comfort zone. Instead of talking to your own FSC people, I encourage them to actually attend all those campers who never go for FSC at all. So I want them to make more friends. So first thing I feel is that those freshmen who join FSC is very important, and we have to really not really depend, but actually work with them to help this FOP experience to be a whole. Let them motivate the FAO people to join the rest of the programs as well. Yeah, instead of just FSC people joining the rest of the projects, they can help us to actually motivate the FAO people as well when they make friends with them as well in the FAO camp. Yeah, so that's one of the ideas I'm thinking of. Yeah. So one thing for OD this year that I personally feel that is very good is the student body thing. Yeah, because student bodies, they mostly went for FSC and FAO, so they know how SOC works and everything. And it's very good that there are student bodies in OD because they are able to share their experience and actually guide the freshmen who didn't come for camps. So that's one thing that I want to work on, maybe possible for FSC to have something like this. Oh, so FAO to have something like this, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, apologies because the time has run out and this is the last Q&A. Alright, so no more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone would like to propose for a toilet break? Okay, we are left with the last two.
Today I go buy 40 now.
Let's invite Vanessa on stage.
Okay, so good evening everyone. Thank you for your time today to come down and listen to the campaigning speeches. My name is Vanessa. I'm a Year 2 IS student and I'm running for the position of Director of the Freshman Orientation Projects. So just some interesting facts about myself. I love Sum Sum and I think a lot of people know that. Yeah, and I cannot and have never eaten beef and mutton because due to religious beliefs. So more about the motivation, my motivation for running for the FOP director. So I took part in a lot of orientation projects as an incoming freshman last year, and I really gained a lot from them. I made really close friends in social camp that I always hang out and study with. I made friends from orientation week that I can plan my modules and timetables with. And I made really close friends from REC who became my fellow REC committee members in the next year. Last year, FOP gave me many valuable memories that I wanted to offer to the next batch of incoming freshmen. So I decided to take up the position of the project director for FAO and became a part of the REC committee, was an OGL in FSC, as well as participate in the rest of the orientation projects such as FLAG and BASH. So after taking part in the orientation projects as a senior and as a part of the organizing committees, I can really see the impact that these projects that I have organized and participated in have on the freshmen as well as on the seniors. Planning orientation activities is no doubt tiring and really a lot of hard work. But knowing that the freshmen and seniors enjoy the activities gave me an immense sense of satisfaction. Hence, I would like to make good use of my experience in FOP to plan more exciting programs, to better guide the new batch of FOP committee, to plan more exciting programs that allow all participants to have the same or even better experience. So just some things that I would focus on if I do get the role of the director of FOP. With the experience that I've gotten this year, there are a lot of things that I want to do. I think there's a lot to be done for the different projects. The camps will have to definitely expand as a response to the increase in intake of freshmen for computing, because the aim of camps is to let the incoming freshmen have the opportunity to get to know more friends, be it freshmen or seniors. So, and I would like to increase the publicity for all projects, especially for REC and FLAG, if FLAG do fall under FOP next year. And I would like to continue the efforts of Dewi, the 2017 FOP director, of paying more attention to REC and FLAG in the coming year, as they are projects that can really forge close friendships while doing something meaningful and giving back to the society. So I'd like to end off with my vision and mission for FOP. My vision for FOP this year is to have one FOP. And my mission for FOP is to form a more inclusive FOP team that bonds people together, whether or not you are a senior or freshman. Thank you.
Okay, any questions on the floor?
Francis, year 2 CB. You know you say, wow, you have a lot of experience, quite well-rounded. So I'd like to ask you the same question that I asked Cindy just now, which is if the camps are going to be mutually exclusive, right? Because we cannot extend the camps, so FSC and FW have completely different set of freshmen, right? How will you link the two and bond the two as one FOP? Not you two, but the other police as well. Yeah,
So if I do become the FOP director, I have plans to remove the twin package thing. That basically means that if they sign up for a twin package, they will sign up for both camps. So I want to remove that because I want to give the freshmen more opportunities, like more freshmen to have the chance to attend camps. Because this year for FOW, we had 2 times the sign-ups that we can take in. So it's really a large increase. So definitely expanding the camps and making them mutually exclusive will give them the opportunity. And I feel that the camps are one-time events that allow the freshmen who attend those events to bond within the 4 days. They can definitely meet up and bond more after the events, but I feel that in between there are a lot of gaps of time that we can make full use of to bond the freshmen from that attended different orientation projects together. Let's say, for example, I understand that last time FOP, the different projects under FOP weren't, there wasn't FOP this cell. So when FOP was started, they had different bonding activities between the projects. Like after FSC, they had bonding activities every week, such as ice skating, going to the trampoline park, and things like that. But I'd like to continue those efforts to bond the freshmen from different projects together, but instead replace them with red and flag activities, because red and flag are activities that are held throughout the summer, unlike the camps, which are one-time events. So I guess things like just coming down for a float, or makeup and costume, or coming down for dance, and increasing beneficiary engagement days, as well as incorporating some bonding activities together, would be a good chance for freshmen to get to know one another, like if they participated in different FOP projects. Yeah, so in that sense, I hope it can be a more inclusive FOP. Yeah.
Hi, Zikai here for Hsuan. So I think a lot of the big problem for next year, I think, would be to the increase in the freshmen, correct? So you're saying you want to remove the package so that you're allowing more students to go for FOW, right? So that you don't repeat the Venn diagram 20%, right? Yeah. Okay, so given this, right, what do you think, right, if we have 2 FSC that's consecutive within the same period, do you think it's a good idea, yes or no, why not? Yeah, what I mean, right? Yeah.
I understand the question.
Yeah.
So can I, just to clarify, so your question is asking what, like in the event we have a duplicate of FSC, so it's 2 FSCs and 1 file.
Yeah.
I think it might not be very feasible in the sense that if we were to conduct 2 consecutive camps, it means that so in the event that we get the same set of seniors, say OGL's house heads and helpers to help out, and it's the same committee conducting the camps, they will be very tired out by the second camp. So it's not very feasible in that sense. And if we get another set of seniors to take up the positions of OGL's house heads and helpers, it might not be very feasible as well because it's difficult to get manpower, so much manpower for so many projects. Because an additional FSC would mean 1 more project. And yeah, so I think it will not be very feasible on the manpower side.
Okay, because the time is up, can someone propose to extend first? Okay, Benjamin.
The new year 3B, same question we shared. So, other than the increase in intake of freshmen, what do you think will be the biggest problem we face next year, and how are you going to go about solving it? And the second question is, who do you have in mind for your deputy?
So the main problems that we will be facing would be definitely the expansion of the camps. So as for the camps, we will have to, for FSC, I understand that this year the lodging fee was subsidized by 50% by the school, but for next year it will only be subsidized 25%. So I think that is one very big issue that we will have to face. So budget-wise, when we expand all the projects, we have to take note of the budget. So that is one problem we face. Yeah, I feel. But it can be solved through a larger scale canvassing, which we can further discuss if I do get the role. So for the camps, it will be the biggest issue will be the lodging. So, but for FAO, we do not have to stay in hall or PGP. So in the event that SOC doesn't have enough venues, we can always look into alternative venues such as MPSH. Yeah. So potential problems we will face for REC is, it's not much of a problem, but I feel it's something that we can improve on while we expand the projects, is to improve on REP. And yeah, because I feel that one thing is REC doesn't have enough publicity. Even though it has already increased, it's still not enough, I feel. So one good channel will be the REC exposure program that they had this year. And I would like to publicize it further because the turnout wasn't what we expected this year. We only had 35 freshmen, instead of the expected 60 that we had in mind. Yeah, so that is one other problem that we might face. And for the second question, yes, I do have a deputy in mind, and he's Francis Lee.
Vanessa, can you just provide the full form of REP? In case someone...
So REP is the REC exposure program. Yeah, this year. It was the first time it's conducted.
Okay, Benjamin?
Benjamin, question that I don't get to ask Cindy, but I'll ask you also. Even if you have no choice, that means your budget doesn't allow you to hold camp, will you deficit a lot to hold the camp? That means, in short, your case one is you hold camp and you have a big hole in your budget. Case two is you don't hold camp, but you don't have a deficit. So you choose A or B.
I will choose A, but for the planning of camps, we would have already projected that there will be a deficit. If we project that there will be a deficit, we will have to make up for the money that we project there will be a deficit and try to canvas more to get more budget.
I clarify. So my question is, even after canvassing, that means whatever you canvas, you still, that means the increase in the cost to plan the camp is way too high. That you, no matter how you canvas, you cannot cover for it. Yeah.
I will still continue with the conduct of the camp because that was the reason why I run for FOPD, is to give freshmen the opportunity to make friends in computing because it's a totally new environment for them.
Rebecca IS year 2. I would like to ask you what's your strengths and weaknesses as compared to your competitor running for the same position?
So to clarify, it's basically the advantages that I have over her and the advantages she has over me when we run for this position. I guess being in more projects this year gave me more experience. Yeah, so like I took up the role of the project director for FAO and I was a part of the REC committee. So in terms of being a FAO project director, I think on a project director and vice project director level, we do a lot more in the sense that we have to handle the guidelines and anything new that comes from OSA because of the saga the previous year. So yeah, that is one advantage I have over her. And I took part in REC for 2 years, so once as a participant and the other as a part of the REC committee. So in the aspect of REC, I am clearer on how REC works and clearer of the problems as I was on the ground this year and how to possibly improve and avoid the problems. So I feel that as she was part of different cells such as marketing and publicity, she has the experience in those cells that I do not have, and these two cells work closely with FOP to provide us with our sponsorships, our goodie bag items, etc., as well as the publicity for FAO. For FOP. So in that area, she has more experience than me, which is beneficial to the role as well.
During year 3 CS, so what are some aspects that you think went well for FOP this year and some aspects that you think didn't go so well for FOP this year?
What went well this year, I think, was for the camps. It was the part about handling handling the guidelines from OSA because there were a lot of new guidelines that we had to alter our proposals and change it to because and it just but we were prepared for it in a sense, so that was a good point. What else was done well was we increased the publicity for REC a lot. With the increase in promotional videos, the exposure program, and especially for FLAG as well, we had beneficiary days in between the different events to try to get in more people to attend. what wasn't done so well was not in the sense that it wasn't done so well, but more of what can be improved in the coming year is the inclusivity, to make FOP more inclusive in the sense that people don't just stick to the people that they have met in that few projects. So, which was like what I mentioned earlier, like have different red and flag activities within the entire timeline when there are no camps, yeah, such. And I think there could be increased publicity for the FOP projects, especially red and flag. Because I understand that this year a lot of red publicity was done by our project director, which wasn't very good because it was additional work on top of what she had. So I feel that publicity can be improved, and it can be done by having a hybrid publicity cell, like what Kian Wee mentioned just now.
Okay, the time is run out, so can someone propose the time first? Okay, any questions? Okay, Joel.
Okay, so far we've been talking about the making both camps mutually exclusive or the expansion of both camps. But it seems like these two are different options. So like you either make both camps exclusive, mutually exclusive, or expand both camps. So bearing in mind that both camps are essentially not identical, so which option are you more inclined to? How will you compare these two options and why?
I wouldn't compare the two options because I would go with both, expanding both camps as well as making them mutually exclusive. But I understand that the objectives of the two camps are different. So for social camp, it's more of having a smaller OG to bond, like as the name suggests, it's a social camp, it's for them to make friends. And for FAO, it's more of the academic aspect where we group them in courses and have seniors of the same course so that more advice can be given to them based on their course. So if we were to make it mutually exclusive, I think we still shouldn't forget the original objectives of both camps. But I think we can improve it in the sense that we integrate. So for social camp, we can integrate the aspect of trying to group them in courses. So if they only attend social camp, we achieve the objective of the small OG and allowing them to bond better with their OG, as well as letting them know freshmen and seniors from their courses so that they have friends and they know who to look for if they do encounter problems. As for FAO, it will just be the expansion and the groupings will remain.
Cannot be a possible. So in the event that it change of like FOP director, what will you do?
So I feel that the skills that I'm equipped with best allows me to take up this role best, but I'm willing to explore other roles in the MC. Yeah, but I'm most confident in the role of the PD. We will have to discuss on that. Yeah. But so in the event that I do not get the role, I will still try to remain there. So I ran for the MC, so I will explore other options such as the deputy role or like other roles that are not taken. Yeah.
Yeah, my question. Yong Ming, IS here for. Out of the 3 projects, FOW, LSC, and RED, how would you prioritize them? Like, considering everything you go and you have limited time and attention, so if you were to choose which one to pay more attention to and involve yourself more into, so which one would be the first one, second, and third?
I guess I will spend the same amount of time on the 2 camps, FSC and FAO, but spend more time on RED. Because I feel that RED has a lot more potential to grow, and there are a lot of areas for improvement. Yeah. So, but for the camps, I will spending time on the camps will be more for the expansion, I guess, because there will be one change from the previous year, and as well as the OSA guidelines.
Thank you. So, time is running out, so yeah, okay, it's all. So, can someone propose to extend before asking any questions? We have one more extension to go. Okay, anyone else have any questions?
Benjamin, will you be willing to pass on the cost to the freshmen in terms of camp fees? Clarify that it's cost of organizing a camp. Vanessa, you understand my question? Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, well, Vanessa, since I think I would try to help to clarify this situation more. So, not all projects are like a green project. So, some projects are losing money. So, for example, if FOP is losing money, and in such a case, would Vanessa choose to make it green and ask the freshmen to pay more? Yeah, I hope this clarifies it.
I guess I won't totally pass on the cost to the participants, as in the freshmen, but maybe try to share it amongst the seniors as well.
Any other questions?
Jeremy here to CG. So while you're doing your FOP, how do you cope with your studies?
With regards to this, so I have taken up multiple projects last year. One is FAO, the other is REC, and I think I have done pretty well in my time management. But in the event that I really get overwhelmed with work, I will try to talk to my VP and my deputy about it to see how we can share the workload.
We still have about 2 minutes. Any more questions? Any objections?
Year 4 sec, second.
you, David. Okay, so thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Anyone would like to propose for a further break? Ian, do you need a toilet further break? Okay, can we invite Ian to the stage?
Okay.
Okay, Ian, you may begin when you're ready.
Okay, hi guys. I think most of you should know me, but in case none of you know me, I'm Ian, year 3 CS. Some of you might have seen me running around with purple hair during the camps or whatever, or last semester. I've been involved in welfare, mainly the welfare subcom for the last 2 years, so supposedly that's what I'll be running for again this year. Now, why do I want to run for the MC instead of just being another subcom member? After being part of a subcom for 2 years, right, I realized that there are quite a few things I actually want to do in terms of welfare for SOC. But as a subcom member, it's extremely hard to get any of those plans on the table because directors always have their own plans. And as a subcom member, you are just there to propagate the plan. So I want to be part of the MC because I actually was part of the Computing Day MC last year, and I realized as part of an MC, right, you're actually able to do more than just helping out. You're actually able to do something for the community here, and that's what I want to achieve. Of course, as I said, I do want to run for want to be the director of welfare, but in case that doesn't happen, I'm still more than willing to be part of the MC in any role because I've always wanted to be a part of the MC ever since I was year 1. It's just that I had no confidence back then, and now that I'm year 3, the confidence is building up, and I think I'm more than ready right now. Now, if I do end up being the director of welfare, the ideas that I have planned mainly relate to getting the students of SOC more involved in the events that we have around here. As you all might have heard yesterday, the fact that welfare events have a very low turnout rate is true, but there are other issues, it's not really other issues, there are certain methods that I hope to employ that will hopefully get more people to turn up for these events. Refining our current events is the main way I plan to achieve this, not necessarily making the events bigger, but definitely making them better in every way that is possible. Hopefully these efforts will attract the pockets of students who always hide in the basements, in Com 1, maybe even in Com 2, I don't know how that happens. So either way, I definitely will put whatever I have into whatever position I do get in the MC, and I hope all of you will support me in my endeavor to involve everyone. Thanks.
Okay, the floor is open for questions. Dinesh?
Hi, Dinesh here for CS. So, there are significantly more students in SOC right now because the intake has increased. And with that comes exam welfare packs. What plans do you have regarding exam welfare packs? Do you plan to expand the number? And if so, do you plan to help with the fundraising, or will you just push it to marketing and maybe now finance?
With regards to that, honestly, I will be brutally honest, most of it lies in the power of marketing, because with more students, right, of course, comes more opportunities to raise funds, be it through selling shirts, selling merchandise, whatever we have. Naturally, by right, the finances that we have should rise due to the increased influx of students. On the other hand, even if that doesn't happen, we all know that welfare is supposedly the red cell. That is honesty at its finest. Even then, welfare pack-wise, we will definitely try to expand as much as we can without overrunning the budget way too much, because I understand that is really the core limitation of the welfare packing itself. And besides that, it's also if necessary, we will definitely try to increase the number of packs, but the number of items within the packs is another matter altogether. We might have to decrease it in order to stay within our budget.
Hi Ian, so you mentioned that one of your main ways of trying to attract more people is to find the projects. So can I ask what are some of the ways, if you have, that you plan on finding the project, and how will it convince people to come for the projects that they previously don't want to?
Okay, with regards to that, for example, the main example I have in mind has always been Welfare Night, because that was honestly one of the saddest performances we had last year, even speaking as a welfare corps member. But one of the ideas I do have planned is for food to come into play. Last year, we only had, our main attractions were mainly, so-called mini land cafe, a karaoke session, board games, and very minuscule amounts of Chinese New Year snacks. Around that time was, that when we had Welfare Night, it was actually around the period of Chinese New Year, so that made sense in hindsight. But that, of course, doesn't really attract people. No one comes to school just to eat snacks. But what I have planned is, instead of just having, a few snacks here and there, because as I remember it, all of our snacks were concentrated in one location, right outside SR1 here, in a table. So what I have in mind is, instead of just, not really finger food, instead of just Chinese New Year snacks, seasonal snacks, we also have a few stations, first of all, food stations here and there, one outside SR1, one in the basement maybe, and not just, snacks in containers, snacks that we bought off the street, but I actually want to bring in sort of, not really say home-cooked food, but maybe prepared on the spot food, such as by air frying it. So I'm sure you all know what an air fryer is, in case you all don't. It's essentially something to fry food without the use of oil or whatever. So it's very easy to use. It might be a bit expensive, but honestly, I might be willing to bear the cost myself. Honestly, I wouldn't mind, just for the sake of making something happen. Other than that, another initiative would be to maybe hold a lucky draw at the same time. It sort of coerce people to participate in all the events that we have planned for one day, instead of just going to their favorite one. So, for example, one stamp for karaoke, one stamp for land cafe, all that. And if you get 4 stamps, all 4 stamps, you can participate in a lucky draw, get some prizes, stuff like that. Very simple initiatives, but I hope that they actually do work.
Okay, the time has run out, so can someone propose to extend? Okay. Next question. Hang on. Okay, Kiwi.
Do you think that the current publicity methods for welfare is sufficient? If not, do you have any other ideas to publicize welfare events further?
Honestly, I will say that publicity has done their utmost best in promoting our events. It's just that, a lot of us are concerned about, there are always these students who don't want to participate. People like international students, foreign students, and people who are just generally shy. So, with regards to that, I can't fault publicity in any way. It's definitely not their fault. Welfare-wise, I think the crux of it really lies in welfare, in making these events interesting for them. Yeah.
Dinesh?
Dinesh here from CS. Okay, so you're working in a rather data-driven MC right now, in the sense that they want your VP and I think your president as well wants to see concrete evidence that an event is going to attract a lot of students before proceeding with the event. What you want to do instead is to have a lot of, try out new outreach methods to bring in students. So this sounds a bit like a chicken and egg problem. How do you propose to resolve this? Bearing in mind that you are, I think, the most senior member of the MC should be elected.
This one is a hard question for me to answer because on one hand, yeah, you're right. I think I'm the most senior there. I'm one of the only year 3s here. And on the other hand, I do have to respect the authority of my president and my vice president. But when it comes to welfare events, my personal thoughts on the matter is that welfare can't be so-called determined by stats alone. A lot of it comes from the enjoyment of the people who do come down for the events. And I mean, we're in SOC, well, like it or not, events, it's very hard to attract people to come down for our events. Even our so-called biggest event of last year, to me, Computing Day, we could only attract about half or less than half of the entire cohort. It's just the way of things. People, like they said, people in SOC are quite study-driven, but at the same time, one must not forget, I don't know whether you have heard this phrase before, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Yeah, and that's my personal feeling, my personal mantra when it comes to welfare. We want to work hard, but we also have to set time aside to play hard. And stats will not do anything about that.
So it's interesting that you mentioned welfare night because to me I always see more potential in welfare night in the sense that it's a relatively budget-free project. All the facilities that we use are within computing. The K that we set up in SR1, SR3, and we bought games and all that are all provided by computing, right? So essentially, to conduct a welfare night costs $0. So do you think, right? Let's say if you do a monthly welfare night, which costs essentially nothing, and the project planning, basically the proposal, you can always reuse it because it's essentially the same program. Do you think by increasing the frequency of these events, will we attract more students to come for our events? Because now that it's like a monthly gathering for SOC students. I mean, you take the time to think about it and tell me your answer yes or no, and why not? Yeah.
Actually thought about it before. Actually my original plan was to make it twice a year, so once per semester. But with regards to monthly, unfortunately welfare night is not completely free because the food has to come from somewhere. It's, even let's say I pull money out of my own pocket to buy an air fryer, where are you going to get the stuff to fry? The frozen foods and all that have to come from somewhere. So it's not completely free, but you are right in the sense that it's probably one of our cheapest events. Other than that, monthly wise, time management becomes an issue with regards to my committee. Because when it comes to welfare night, you need people who are willing to stay back the entire night in order to manage the facilities. I know there are some com club members, not committee members, who are more than willing to take charge of one room, for example, the karaoke room last year. But even then, I'm pretty sure not all of them will want to stay back once every month just for the sake of welfare night. So it'll be quite hard to do that. If there are community members who are willing to do that, then maybe the idea becomes a lot more feasible.
Okay, hang on. I have 2 questions on mine, so let me just get it. It has been hanging for some time. So, Terrace here for CS. From your 2 years of subcommittee experience, what is the one thing that you would do differently?
Honestly, my initial plan for welfare was to, again, refine the events, strengthen the events that you already have. But if I were to do something differently, it would definitely have to be possibly delegating more events to my committee members, because I have seen the way Terence and Larry work, the 18th MC welfare directors, and the way Jasmine and Wei work, the 19th MC directors. And they took charge of a lot of events, and it drained the hell out of them. I could see by the end of it, they were very tired. I know Jasmine was very jaded by the end of everything. So I feel as if more recognition could be given to the welfare com, as in the members of the welfare com, by the directors themselves. So one way to do this would be to let them take charge of some events and to give them the chance to plan and give them the chance to feel recognized for their efforts as well. It's a small gesture, but I think it goes a long way, because that's one of the reasons I'm still with welfare today.
Okay, the second question of mine, Gilbert, CS year 4. Unique events excluding Halloween and Valentine's Day can we expect from you as a welfare director?
Okay, unique events. I don't know if SOC Superstar counts as a unique event for you all, because I'm pretty sure you all have most of you all have heard it by now. Is it? Yeah, how of you all have heard it by now? Because we had one back in, the last one we had was in 2015. We decided to pull that out because the reception for it was not very good that year, amongst other issues. But this year, I feel as if we do have a few individuals or a few groups of people who are actually quite interested in it. And I think what I want to do is to make it happen once every 2 years, so that you give the community some time to cool down and to so-called prepare for the next Superstar again. Other than that, an idea has been brought up to me that is quite, I mean, honestly, one of the other events that I had planned also, not really had planned, sorry, one of the events that was suggested to me, I realized made quite a bit of sense, because I did want to involve the international community in SOC as well. And one way to do that, as an advisor told me, was to sort of introduce the culture of Singapore into our events. And when it comes to Singapore, right, one of the biggest things that we have is mahjong. They're happy already, right? Yeah, but honestly, there is a whole, I don't know how feasible that is, because there is definitely a whole stigma of gambling associated with mahjong, and the OSC may have a lot to say about that, not just the student life. But if honestly, if we are able to push that through, I think you'll actually get a lot of interest from the other communities that we have within SOC itself. And I actually see a lot of potential for that.
Thank you. So time is out from just now, so can someone propose the extension? Okay, just taking note, this is the third Q&A session, so...
Hey guys, I'm a welfare director only, you don't need to groom me this much.
Okay, so this is the third one, just choose your question wisely.
Okay, Rebecca IS year 2 here. Just a point of information before I proceed to the question. So last year for welfare night, right, in fact it reaches 2K people out of, which is a double the reach as compared to the previous year, but it does not reflect the attendance. So statistics is not really that reliable after all. So just saying. Okay, then I want to check with you, like, what are the, other than SOC Superstar, do you have any other new initiatives or like past initiatives you would? No lah, as in personally lah, like personally, instead of suggestions from others, do you have anything you want to, or like a direction you would like to go for? Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, honestly, I don't want to have too many new initiatives right now, because the main thing I want to do this year for welfare is really just to strengthen what we already have. So the events such as Halloween, welfare night especially, because I feel as if there is, besides EWP 1 and 2, right, that is really one of the big things for welfare. So I don't really want to have too many new plans, because I want to see how much I can do for welfare as it is right now. And once we have everything, once we have all our current events steady and everything, then maybe the next welfare director can continue on to find new initiatives to build on.
Yeah, Rebecca, I ask you too. I agree with your decision. So, just now you were saying you want to bring back SOC Superstar. Right? So, do you intend to do the pre-survey, a pre-event survey before you bring back such an event, or what's your sentiment about doing such, implementing such measures? Yeah.
Actually, for SOC Superstar, okay, actually for welfare events, I think this goes against the principles of my press and my vice press. But as I answered Dinesh earlier, yeah, stats are really hard to come by when it comes to welfare events. The stats, the turnout rate, and everything do not reflect how enjoyable the event is. Maybe a pre-survey is is not very indicative of how an event will turn out. Personally feeling, because I think I have asked last year while I was still a subcom member, I have asked around, tried to garner support for welfare night and everything, and people did say they weren't interested at first, and then suddenly they turned up on the day itself. People say they were interested, and then suddenly went MIA. But I think something that will be more indicative will really just be, either a survey on the grounds itself, or maybe less so a post-event survey. But most importantly, I think the best way to find out whether an event is successful or not is just really how much people enjoy it on the day itself. That's the personal feeling I have.
Daily yes. So there was the Christmas event, which I think was from the 17th MC, but it wasn't really continued. It was only continued informally by the students, but not as an MC event. I was wondering if you would consider taking it back up.
Just to clarify, because I wasn't around for both Christmas events during my years, did the 18th MC have a Christmas event planned by you all?
Okay, I'll provide clarification. So there is, but it is not on the capacity of an MC event. It's not more like a friends gathering.
So, wait, so Fei Xuan and Leonard were the only MC members who actually make it official?
That is
17th, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I think the 19th MC welfare, we actually wanted to have a Christmas event officially again, but due to, at that time, a lot of our members going overseas during the December holidays, it was really difficult for us. But I think this year might be a good idea to bring it back because, I mean, it is Christmas. Everyone I also kind of expected a Christmas celebration last year. I don't know why it happened. But at the same time, again, the problem lies in trying to make people stay through Christmas. Some advice that was given to me by an advisor was to, instead of making it solely a Christmas event, maybe make it into more of a post-exam come Christmas event. So bring it forward while people are still in Singapore and not really enjoying their holidays overseas. So still gives it a Christmas feel because 25 days of Christmas or whatever, but the idea still stays the same. It's still a celebration, and it's still a good time for everyone to come down and celebrate a festive season together.
Okay, the time is out, so we have one more extension to go. Okay, Joel, let's go ahead.
Okay, Joel, yes. So I have two questions. The first is, okay, I agree that stats are not totally indicative. So if stats are not indicative enough, so what steps do you think we can propose to increase the success rate of the event rather than just blindly go and organize it? Okay, so secondly is, the stats and the enjoyment of the event are kind of two separate concepts. So say an event is very, very enjoyable, but you know that the turnout rate will only be, say, for 20 to 30 people. Would you still proceed with it, or would you want an event with more people? Since as like director of welfare, we should have organized events that cater to as many students as possible, so as many people can benefit from our events as much as possible.
With regards to your first question, I believe the concept of success really is based on how you define it. Do you define it based on turnout rate, or do you define it based on real enjoyment? And that links to your second question as well. They are two very different concepts. But honestly, most of welfare's events are based on our definition of success, at least from what I've seen for the past few MCs, is really based on how much the students are able to enjoy it and whether people actually enjoy coming down for it. It's not so much based just on numbers alone. Even then, of course, numbers are still a concern, but it's, like I mentioned earlier, it's really hard to get a lot of people to come down because, as you mentioned yourself, it's SOC is a very study-driven community. But at the same time, there are two ways to approach this. One is, of course, trying to so-called attract the international community, the foreign students that we have. Less so the exchange students because they're only here for a while, but definitely those who are already part of the SOC community, but just don't want to turn up. And that one lies on me if I become a director in order to craft my event so that it is appealing to them as it is to the rest of the students that we have here. The other one is if I really cannot reach out to the international students, I honestly don't know how well that will turn out and whether my efforts will be enough. If that fails to happen, then the focus will have to go back onto the people who regularly turn up. Do they still enjoy the events that we have planned, or have we drifted way too far from our original concept of enjoyment just for the sake of numbers?
I see.
Yeo Kian asking on behalf of Andrew Philip alumni.
Oh God.
So now at graduation night, is moved to welfare cell. Do you have any plans for it?
Honestly, I only learned of this change like 2 weeks ago. So right now I don't have any plans for it because I didn't go for the grad night this year, and I think a lot of it will lie on me understanding what grad night is all about from the previous publicity directors like Rebecca and and Juliana. But I will still treat graduation night just like a welfare event in terms of quality. I won't compromise on it just because it's like a new event that we have at the end of the year or at the end of the term for us. But I'm quite excited. Honestly, I'm quite excited to see how that will turn out.
Okay, a question online. Terrence, year 4 CS. What is your course of action if publicity and marketing were to be decentralized?
There's also one question I hope I didn't have to answer. If that were to happen, honestly, welfare loses a lot of its power because we really run on publicity, we really run on marketing. So if they were to be decentralized, right, then I think I'll have no choice but to have to get a community, to get a welfare community to do it themselves mainly. Of course, publicity won't lie solely on us because the other events that the rest of the MC comes up with will still need publicity, like the sports cell and SRS and all that. But marketing-wise, I think a lot of that will have to be handled by welfare because we are the main burden of the budget. And honestly, welfare and marketing are quite closely linked because welfare events are an opportunity for marketing to make money, and WP relies a lot on marketing. So worst come to worst, we will probably have to absorb marketing as much as I hate to admit it. And that will be a difficult time for me, but I think we should be able to manage.
I think for the benefit of the audience, decentralized means that the director, for example, Ian, if he would be the welfare director, he has to find people to sign up for publicity roles and marketing roles in his committee. That is what it means. Okay. One last question. Okay, I do have one. So, Yongming, I ask you. Have you found anyone to be your deputy, or have you identified anyone to be your deputy?
You just asked the same question twice.
No, like, have you found someone, like, before you run, you can find someone to be ready to be your deputy, or if not, have you thought of finding someone? Yeah.
Unfortunately, the person who I want to be my deputy isn't here today, but I think she's watching. So I honestly have pretty much decided on having Elysia as my deputy because she was part of the welfare core team as well last year, and I realized her passion for welfare is still burning quite strong, and her ideals actually align a lot with mine. We both want to make our current events a lot stronger than they currently are, and I think the two of us should be able to work quite well together. I'm quite happy to have her as my deputy if it happens.
Alright, so that's the end of Q&A. Thank you, Ian. Alright, so we have come to the end of the elections, campaigning speech, and Q&A. Right, thank you for coming down, both nominees and members of the Community Club. Yes, so before you go, we just would like to show you this. Now we are end of 25th August, so next week, Monday and Tuesday, will be the voting. Oh, sorry. How do I do it? Okay. So yes, next week, Monday and Tuesday will be the voting, physical voting. You can proceed to the student lounge, 12 to 6, and yes, there will be procedures for you to follow and then to vote. Right. And there will be a by-election. So because minimally we need 16 nominees and now we have 15. So the by-election is as follows. The nomination period is 30th to 31st and the voting is 4th to 5th. There will not be campaigning for by-elections due to time constraints. For more information on how to nominate, how to vote for by-election, it's pretty much the same. Just you can go to the website and check out elections@nuscommunity.com. Elections.nuscommunity.com. Yep, so that's it. Can I ask the nominees to stay behind for a short while, and that's all for the rest of the members. Thank you.